slayed the man, I swayed the ten. Like here I am, a son of Savage, taking shots at David Berkowitz. Bushy. A different discipline existed in this New York state of mind. They say it's not no not the actor, but the year he's ever not one thing in mind to grind until this gavel turned his words to mirth from Babel. Follow protocol, this kingdom built on ghetto bones. So I can't love Esau, and I can't fuck with y'all. I ain't gotta say it twice, you vouching for the enemy, but look, my father ain't have a father, cause of dope, I'm anti-politics. Cause Christ died from a fault. How the richest nation locked the homeless up for being cold. How ironic they relating, smoking weed to get stoned. You trim your ways and seek they love. I'ma bring this sword back wet with a vest dipped in blood. Niggas giving up when they don't even give enough. Going nowhere fast, niggas always in a rush. I give them love cause my brother's lost. Christians eating my state brother starve. No way I can serve another God. I give my love cause my brother's lost. Christians eating my state brother starve. I can't serve another God.
By switching over to AAA insurance, we saved over $450. So with our savings, he bought more equipment.
More money means more pockets equipment.
In his world.
Find out how much you could save. Contact AAA for a free auto insurance quote today.
It's not coming. It's just it was having issues on sharpen the sword, remember?
Generic Viagra and CVS costs $45 per 100-milligram tablet. But with a newly announced program, you can get the exact same tablet for just 87 cents each. Under this program, all doses have been priced at 87 cents. And unlike most pharmacies, you won't be charged more if you want a higher dose. The program is called Friday Plans, and over 10,000 men in the United States have already signed up. As a limited supplies, the program is currently limited to 18 tablets per person per month. You don't need a previous prescription.
Iced out everything iced out. When we come into your state, make no mistake, it's lights out. Whether you're rebel, legislator, you maintain the White House. While my brothers keep us run, we gon' remain iced out. Iced out, everything iced out. When we come into your state, make no mistake, it's lights out. Whether you're rebel, legislator, you maintain the White House. While my brothers keep us run, we gon' remain iced out. Iced out is when you're strapped, it's when you're feeling in the gap, it's when you're chilling in the black, but still you're dealing with the crap. It's not about financial brackets, but the culture that you practice. What's the nature you exhibit in the language you inhabit? It's the fabric of society, violently providing you with ammunition, not to mention there is not sobriety. A dragon that can fire breathe, blood of a fire breathe. Here, oh, Israel, that couldn't its entirety. Oh, empires be knocked off tonight. All that top dog shit is getting locked off tonight. Only one operation can alter the all right. It's the 51st Passover, dog, we taking fight. With 100 hands, 100 kids, 100 hours, 100 hits, 100 rounds, 100 clips, a covenant of punishment. Take your pick, you're fucking with the Dodge Punk government. It functions on command, drive a damn shit and government. Taking charge, make it hard to breathe without your oxygen. Old steam doesn't make it season, just an occupant. The opposite of cutting edge and judging bread and cutting dreads. All I have is double hits, we dust them off with yellow blades. Trouble fat, we gon' stack the cake up higher. Only facts, don't lie, I'm the real soul survivor. This is black sheep, quiet, let the rap sheet stop. Only thing I'm kicking out is the backseat driver. Planet riders, this is land becoming the gift grabs. Modern day Egyptians tearing down their Mount Olympus. All the gold in this Olympus can't pardon their hieroglyphics. It's the writing on the wall, now it's black folk genesis. Overthrow our nemesis, hand them down to sentences. Yahweh by Shem, Yahweh shot, pull up the Genesis. Overthrow our nemesis, hand them down to sentences. Yahweh by Shem, Yahweh shot, pull up the Genesis. Iced out, everything, iced out. When we come into your state, make no mistake, it's lights out. Whether you're a rebel, legislator, or you maintain the White House. While my brothers keep us learn, we gon' remain iced out. Iced out, everything, iced out. When we come into your state, make no mistake, it's lights out. Whether you're a rebel, legislator, or you maintain the White House. While my brothers keep us learn, we gon' remain iced out.
Alright, Shalom is real. Y'all know what it is, what we do. It's ISUPK up under Commanding General Yohana. Started out on 1 West 125th Street in Harlem, New York. And we are here in St. Louis. This is our St. Louis class. It's a law class. And the topic for tonight is whores and the whoremongers shall be judged.
Right.
They will be judged. Oh, good night. Now, our people got a huge problem with that. You understand? And it is in the scripture. But first, we got some questions. We got the line opened up, the conference line. So if anybody want to call in and ask their questions directly, tune in. You understand, or whatever the case may be, you can dial 712-832-8330, and the PIN number for that is 825-1636. Call in, unmute your mic, say Salaki or excuse me. You can ask your question, you can make a comment, or you can just listen live. All right. And then, for the text questions, if you don't want to ask your questions over the line, live, or if you're not on Facebook or whatever, and you want to type your question in, you can text it to me. You can text it to 314-696-8288, and we'll answer you there. And what else we got? Again, if you're on the Facebook, right, you're in the chat, type it in the chat, and we'll get to you ASAP. Be patient with us, and we'll answer your question there as well. All right? So, this is the first question. Oh, you know what? Let me get you the tags too. Hold on, let's see. Because I ain't able to tag you. You have the tag, brother?
I got the tag. You get the tags?
Oh, I actually. Oh, you got it? Okay. Okay. Yeah, I forgot about that. The other one wasn't working. All right, let me know when you're ready. So I can use this question. What is your question? Now you hear about that little sister that went through? I think a live pole fell down. I think the sister is the question is on 1 Timothy 4 and 3. They want to break down with a description, the meaning of this. And we're gonna definitely go ahead and read it, and then we're gonna go back to verse 1, break it down, give context and backdrop of what we're here. First Timothy 4.
The book of 1 Timothy, chapter 4, verse 3. Forbidding to marry and commanding to abstain from meats, which Yahweh hath created to be received with thanksgiving of them which believe and know the truth.
That's a good scripture. I like that.
Count it
I
down.
like the scripture. And I also know that Christians like to apply this to Thanksgiving. You understand? Because their word is there. You understand? And to abstain from meat. You understand? We're going to break it all down for you. Start at verse 1. Okay? Like I said, it gives the backdrop of this right here.
Verse 1. Now the Spirit speaketh expressly that in the latter times,
And in the who?
the latter times, some shall depart from the faith.
So this is what we're talking about here. You understand? Is those is departing from the faith in the latter time, meaning later on, meaning like the last days. Okay? Keep going.
Verse 2. I'm sorry.
You should
Giving heed. Sorry.
Go.
Giving heed to seducing spirits and doctrines of devils.
Giving heed to seducing spirits. You understand? And doctrines of the devil. A seducing spirit is like someone saying salvation is for everybody. Right? They're trying to seduce you into believing that you're not the only one that's going to be saved. You understand? It's going to be all people. That's a seducing spirit. And there's also a doctrine of devils. You understand? Because it's not true. You understand? The one true doctrine is that Israel shall be saved. That's that.
Right.
No other nation of people. Okay? Now go ahead and read verse 2.
Okay. Verse 2. Speaking lies in hypocrisy.
Speaking lies and hypocrisy. These people in the latter times, this is what they're going to be doing. Speaking lies and hypocrisy. Okay? The ones that's going to depart from the faith, they're going to be giving heed to seducing spirits and doctrines of devils. And now verse 2, speaking lies and hypocrisy. Okay? Keep going.
Having their conscience seared with a hot iron.
Okay, their conscience being seared with a hot iron, meaning like, just picture like an iron, you know, you iron your clothes, you know what I'm saying? Steam start hitting, you know what I'm saying?
It's like they cauterized.
The who?
They cauterized.
Cauterized?
Cauterized. Like, you know how if you get a wound, you get like shot, and you take something real hot and press it to it to basically burn clothes. Like you ain't nothing else getting in because when you done took something and burned the opening clothes. That's you cauterize. You know.
Gotcha.
Basically you sealed off. You cooked up. Ain't nothing else getting in.
Right.
Cut.
And guess what else don't get in? The truth.
Right.
They ain't trying to hear it. That's why I don't know if you ever heard us say, like, if you on Clubhouse or when we in debates or in different rooms with different audiences, you know, we often target the people that's listening. Because the person we're debating, he ain't trying to hear it. You understand? Like, go ahead.
Like Officer Elijah Shaw said, they burnt up.
They burnt up. They're right. They burnt up for sure. And that's exactly what this scripture is talking about. Nothing else is going to end up getting in here, right here.
Yeah, right.
They like, oh, you know what? No, salvation for everybody, and that's it. It's cut off. You understand? Christ. What is it? Christ didn't just die for Israel. He died for everybody. I heard it today in the morning.
Okay.
Speaking of this is what we was talking about earlier.
Okay.
This happened. You understand? To the point to where the brothers, we even brought up the crimes because they was so hell bent on us hating the white man for the color of his skin. and none of us mentioned color one time.
Right.
It was all their crimes. And the brother, when I had spoke about the things that he has done, you know, I mentioned some of my people that have been murdered by them. Right?
Yeah,
And I mentioned Michael Brown, you know, because that hit home. That's right here in St. Louis, right? And the brother said, you know what? He said, that was evil what that cop did, but he shouldn't have been in the street. And I said, whoa, wait a minute, bro. I said, so now the victim is to blame for what the victimizer, the damn oppressor did to him? First, the cop pulled up, saw him and his buddy walking across the street. The cop yells out, get the fuck out the street, and then gets the fuck out his car, and then blows the fuck out of his brother's brains. Straight like that. So you mean tell me I'm supposed to forget about this? And then now you're telling me that it's the person on the ground is his fault? And I asked him, I said, show me in the white man's law where walking across the street deserves death. I said, sometimes you just might have to walk across the street. like if you walking, if say for instance you're on a strip and you got stores.
Right.
And you park in one area and you say, hey, I can just walk across the street and get to that store. I want to go there too. And you walk across the street. Where is that a crime at? And I even told him, I said, brother, they're not even issuing out those jaywalkers. Matter of fact, I never even saw jaywalkers. We used to do it all the time as kids. I used to hear walk across the street, it's a crosswalk, and not in the middle of it because they'll give you a ticket. And I never saw anyone get a ticket there. But come on, Jamal.
Sluggy, there is no crosswalk in that area.
None. Where the apartments are, right?
Kind of, it was in between two apartment complexes. Right. Back off in the cut. The nearest crosswalk is the main street up the street.
Right.
So coming from one complex to another complex, there is no crosswalk.
Exactly.
So what do you mean crossing the crosswalk?
That's what I told him.
But see, they don't live here, so they can just make up whatever they think. Mm-hmm. And like you said, it's to save their slave master that they love so much. Right. Because they just want to make up any excuse that they can, not knowing anything about the area, not knowing anything about what actually happened. The slave master couldn't have been wrong. Why didn't you listen to him faster?
Right, right. And we touched all that about complying with the police. Niggas do comply with the police. And you see it all the time on somebody's damn camera phone. While they're complying, they're getting their brains blown out. They're getting their knee jammed in their neck where they can't breathe. They get tossed in the back of a damn paddy wagon and thrown all around the vehicle to the point to where you break your neck. They don't have you strapped in, and then you fall on the other side and break your damn neck. You understand? That happens all the time with us, with them. And like you said, Cabal, there was no crosswalk in that complex area. Right. You understand? You can walk across the street. And I even told them, because I'm staying out there with white people in their area. Right. I said, right now at this moment, you have white, the brother said, the street's made for cars. So Michael Brown shouldn't have been in the street. I said, man, bro, you can't be this damn stupid. I said, children play in the street all the time. As soon as I said that, I see white kids, I turn the corner, white kids riding their bikes in the street, playing with balls in the street, walking down the street, and there's a cop there. You know what he was doing? Watching. Right. He was watching. God. He didn't tell them, get the fuck out the street. You understand? Come on with it.
So like he was making sure there ain't nobody hit while they was in the street. He was making sure they was safe while they was in the street.
You heard what I said?
Counter sir.
I said he was watching.
Counter
So that means he was making sure that they didn't get hurt.
Right, not watching them to do nothing to them.
In the street. Exactly. You know what I'm talking about. You ain't stupid like that other nigga was in the club. You understand. And guess what? And we played in the street too. Yeah, right. You understand? And parents was outside. They was watching us, making sure we ain't get hit by no cars. You understand? That's what the watching thing, like you just said. That's what the cop was doing, watching to make sure they were safe. Not that they was going to commit a crime, he had to pull out his gun on them. He was making sure that they were all right. You understand? And our parents did the same thing as we played in the street. Hell, the backyards wasn't long enough and it's all grass in the backyard for a bike.
Right.
You can't ride the bike like that. You ride up and down the street. Your mother, your father, you know what I'm saying, big brother, uncle, somebody was out there watching you to make sure you didn't get hurt. Simple as that. That way you can stretch out a little bit. Go up the street, come down the street. Y'all can throw the football. Yeah, that little yard that we got in the ghetto, it's small. You know what I'm saying? Can't throw the ball in the park. But when you get in the street, oh man, I can really show you what I can do. You know what I'm saying? Throw that thing 100 yards up the block. You know what I'm saying? Come on,
I mean, and honestly, it's a problem. I honestly feel bad for you if you ain't never played football in the streets when you was a kid.
On.
Like, what kind of childhood did you
Oh,
have? You ain't never
man.
played football in the street? You ain't never raced your friend down the block in the middle of the street?
Come on out.
That's a crime you should have been murdered for.
What did he say? That's what he said. And talk about football in the street. What about basketball? On one of the signs, on one of the street signs.
Hey, it's
No
like
parking sign.
all you need is a milk crate and some nails.
Or, hey, I'm telling you, come on, man. Like, hey, I mean, hey, we had a lot of fun in the street.
Sir.
In the street, and none of us got killed for it, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on. And that's what that brother said, man. And guess what? Nothing was getting in.
Right.
Nothing that I was saying was getting in.
Right.
Like you said, the conscience was served with hot on. It shut off. It shut off from any understanding. He got his slave mind made up.
Right.
And it was Michael Brown's fault for what happened to him because he shouldn't have been in the street. Then I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna get back to the point. The brother turned around and said, "Man, I got a 12-year-old son, and I ain't gonna lie. If that same thing would have happened to my son, oh, he might as well just come and kill me too. But at the same time, I'm gonna be saying, what was my son doing in the street? And I gave, and why would he give them a reason to do this? And I said, oh my God, brother, I can't believe I'm hearing it. Not no way in hell am I going to question what my son was doing in the street. He was walking across. His friend verified. They was walking across the street. It's not unlawful to walk across the street. And I even told him, I said, okay, if it was a crime, if walking across the street was a crime, why didn't the officer turn his lights and sirens on and pull over and say, hey, let me give you this ticket for you walking across the street, knowing you're not supposed to? Why didn't he do that? Versus screaming out of his car, get the fuck out of the street. If he had done something wrong, that cop, that's what he wanted to do. What's his name, George Zimmerman?
That was
Not Zimmerman,
Darren Wilson.
Darren Wilson, yeah, that's his name. Darren Wilson, that's what he wanted to do. He wanted to kill a nigga, man. And he did. And got away with it. Got off on murdering an innocent brother. And that Negro who had his conscience served, you understand, he departed the faith long time ago.
Right.
You understand? He heard this truth, and now he comes up against it at all costs. And today, that was just like one of the lowest ones ever. To turn around and say that the victim was wrong in this case. Then you start making up stuff about, you know, how black on black crime and all. I said, man, you really should just mute up, bro. You should just mute up because you sound like a little bitch right now. And I had to tell him that. You know what I'm saying? I really had to tell him that. You know, I had to go there. But you absolutely right on this scripture right here. Okay, so they not hearing nothing. Nothing's getting in. This is why we shoot for the audience. Right. They're the ones that's listening and paying attention. And we have to turn around and give them the truth and bust up all of them lies so their minds can be free from that garbage and they can actually learn to obey the Lord and serve God and keep His laws. And don't be a little bia when you're walking across the street. You understand? And then try to blame yourself and say, it's my fault while this cop is harassing me. You know what I mean? And you know, when I was driving down the street, there was a white, he was paying more attention to me than he was in the kid. His focus got off of them and turned around and said, oh, what is this nigga doing? Let me watch him.
Right.
Watch him real close. You understand? So, you know, you have to go ahead.
Sir, but it's so beautiful, you know what I mean, when those situations happen, because now our people can see who their leaders actually are. Like that's why we do this. So you can see just how much of a simp these people are for their oppressor.
Right.
Like any excuse he can have to give our oppressor an out, he's going to find it. He's going to find a way. And us as a people, you know, some of us who ain't as burnt up, who ain't as seared shut, you know, is gonna look at me like, hey, wait, did you just say he was right for shooting Michael? Wait, did you say it was okay for him to shoot him?
No.
Like they didn't realize how horrible what their doctrine actually leads to, because it leads to you giving reason for your oppressor to murder your children in the street.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's a very sad, you know what I mean? That's a very sad state of affairs when our people are letting our oppressor off for killing us, and we're the only ones who are in this situation. Listen, if an Edomite had a so-called black man at gunpoint, and that black man killed him, there is no excuse an Edomite would ever give that black man for killing him. I don't care if he had a gun on you. You didn't have to kill him.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
That would be what they say.
Right.
Us. Oh man, you shouldn't have been in that situation. It's your fault. You. No, they didn't do nothing. But it's you. Like, we always want to blame our own people, and this is why we don't have a community. Because we, inside the community, keep tearing it apart because of these people with these seared minds. They're the doctrines of devils. That's their Christianity. That's the doctrine of devils. The white man is the devil the Bible speaks of, and the doctrine he gave you is Christianity. And that is why our people are in this situation, and our people are in this state.
God, and they don't even get it.
God on God, sir.
They don't even get it, huh?
God on God.
Like, I mean, that was, you know, the Most High wants to free us from captivity, and we want to be slaves.
Right.
That is ridiculous, you know. And our King Christ, He freed us from that mindset. You understand? You follow Him, you ain't got to worry about being no slave.
Yeah, right.
At all. You can be a free man. You understand? I even told his brother, I said, man, sound like you scared. You sound like you scared, especially when you come to your child. You sound like an emotional woman. I can understand black women. You put the shirts on, talk about, I got a black son. Right. I can't see that with no man. You know what I'm saying? I understand the black woman, you know, just sitting biting her nails, hoping her son come home, praying that her little son come home, and I understand her. But you, black man, what are you scared for? You understand? I turn around and teach my children this truth, and we stick to what the Bible says. You do no evil thing, no evil will come unto you. You understand? So I'm not worried at night. Oh, damn, hold my son. Oh, Lord. Oh, my. Ooh. Ah. You know what I'm saying? Texting them all this stuff. Where you at, son? You okay? Right out there. You know what I'm saying? I think about it. I text them. Yeah, man, what you doing?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? One of them grown. Well, two of them grown. You know what I'm saying? Two of them grown. So I'll tell you, what's up, son? What you doing? You know? Not scared of pins and needles. You know? Yeah, hey, what you doing today? You had to work? Something like that. Right. Not like that, brother. You know? And he swore it down, and it was in the reverse. I was when you know what? We're not built like that. Right. We just not built the same way that they are in the world, man. You understand? Commanded you how to fine tune us, and we get built totally different up in the air. God. You understand? We get built totally different in the UPK. Damn right. Anybody outside of here, you won't know it. You won't understand it. You understand? You won't understand how we operate in here. Go ahead, come on with it.
And Salakia, each one of us used to be out there.
Yeah.
We used to be that way. Like, you don't have to just stay that way because you are that way now. Right. That is what the ISUPK is here to do, is to build up brothers, to build up sisters. So we don't have to be that way anymore, because our minds, as the scripture was talking about, have not been seared with a hot iron. Right. We've been able to allow the truth in and get that corruption out, right? Because, you know, one of the things that happens, especially, you know, with carterization, when close that wound, whatever's in there is in there, and it's not getting out. So the things that are that need to come in can't come in, and the things that need to come out can't come out either. Right? So it you know, they do it, you know, to stop people from bleeding, now to stop them from dying. But if there's germs or bacteria or a virus that's already in there, when you burn it shut, you can't wipe no alcohol on there and clean it off.
No, that's it.
It's stuck in there.
That's it.
You got you can't be this way and then be changed or come out of the ways that you are, or even allow the truth in, because there ain't nothing else coming in.
Yeah.
And what's in there is just stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. That's crazy. But go ahead, read verse 3.
Verse 3. Forbidding to marry
Uh-huh.
and commanding to abstain from meats.
Okay, now this is these people that have departed from the faith and that have given heed to seducing spirits and doctrines of devils. These are the things that they are going around teaching now. They're forbidding to marry. They're telling people stuff like sex is not marriage.
Right.
When it is.
No.
They're telling people, oh, go and get that piece of paper. Go to the government. You know, what they say, do it the right way and all this nonsense. But that's not the way. You understand? The Most High laws supersede the laws of the land.
Right.
You understand? So when it comes to marriage, you go in the scripture, you'll find that it's a man and a woman both having sex with each other. And when you go in the definition to the Zondervan, I'm pointing to the book like they can see the book. But the Zondervan that we got up here, where it talks about, it defines what marriage is. And marriage is when two people agree to have sex and they actually commit the act. Those two have become one day. You understand? Not from people forcing folks to go get on paper.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because our people have done that for a long time. I used to hear, you got to make her an honest woman now. I used to hear people that had sex, folks ridicule them and going, especially on the man. They dog and the man. The woman wanted that rod just like that man wanted that for JJ.
Right.
But they dogging the man out. He is horrible. I can't believe you did this to her. I'm like, wait a minute, sound like both of them wanted it. He didn't take it. You understand? He started rubbing and touching it. You know how it was very moved me. You understand? And they both got it in. You understand? But they are actually forbidding people to marry, because what happens in most of those cases, you ever seen stuff like that happen? To where they telling them, oh, you wrong, you this and that. What usually ends up after that?
Break up.
They usually break up. Come on. You saw the exact same thing I saw. They usually break up instead of encouraging them to stay together now. You understand? Come on with it.
Salaki, instead of telling them, no, y'all already married.
Right.
No, y'all did it.
Right.
That was the act.
Right.
That's the marriage.
Right.
You're married now.
Right. And then turn around and I've seen them when they deal with younger couples, when the couples 15, 16, 17, you understand, stuff like that, say the same age. They do it to them. I was like, why are they making them break? They got a baby now. What the hell you mean? Y'all not finna be together. Hey, they both 16. They both committed the act. Now, guess what? Till they become adults and get jobs and can do things for themselves, you got to do it.
Okay.
Don't say, hey, don't come around my daughter no damn more. Pull her in the house and shut the door and tell her she can't be around him no more. Like, that is ridiculous, man. That's them forbidding to marry. You understand? They turn around and have broken up so many. I'm thinking back to this now as a kid. I'm like, man, that's all I saw was breaking up left and right. You understand? And why? Because, keep reading. Read a little more.
Which Yahweh hath created to be received with thanksgiving of them which believe and know the truth.
Okay? So they're forbidding to marry and then telling them that they have to abstain from certain meats. They ain't got to be, I've heard people say that God intended on us being vegetarians. We only supposed to eat plants and stuff like that. Then why in the law does it have meats? Meats that you can eat and meats that you most certainly better not eat. You understand? The law would not have any meat in it if you were just supposed to eat vegan and eat vegetables. And vegetables are good. I love them. I love broccoli. I love string beans. You know what I'm saying? I love cauliflower. I love salad. You know what I'm saying? I love it. But I got to have me some wings. I got to have me some meat. I got to have me some chicken with mine.
Yeah, right.
Beef steak. I know pork steaks. Beef steak.
God.
I got to have me some lawful with some lamb. I love some lamb. Good night. You know, like I got to have me some meat to go with my veggies.
Right.
That's just how I choose to eat, and it's not wrong. It's not unlawful. So, like I said, now if you want to be a vegan, that would be your choice.
Right.
You understand?
Right.
If all you want to eat is veggies, by all means, they got protein in them. You understand? Veggies, they got protein in them, so you can eat veggies all you want. All you want to eat is salads, eat salads all day. That's all you want to eat. But don't make a religion out of it. Don't lie and say that God said we're supposed to be. You understand? Because it's saying that the meats that you're telling people to abstain from, God had created to be received with thanksgiving. Finish that up. Huh?
Of them which believe and know the truth.
Of them which believe and know the truth. The ones that believe and know the truth know which meat to eat and which meat not to eat. That's the whole point of that. You understand? Now go ahead.
That basically on that point you just said. This specifically says that there are meats that were created to eat.
Right.
That means that not all meat was created to eat.
Yeah, right.
There are certain meats that were created to eat. How do you know which meats are created to eat? By knowing the truth,
Right.
which is the law.
Right.
So in the New Testament, it's telling you there are certain meats that you can eat according to the law.
Yeah, right.
This ain't telling you can go eat pork,
Right.
eat shrimp, crab, lobster. That's not what this is telling you. They'll use that for this too. Oh, you forbid me from eating meats. That pig was not created for you to eat.
Right.
The Most High God laid out which meats were created for that purpose.
Right.
And this verse is simply reiterating that. Listen, you can't ban somebody from eating something that the Most High God said it's okay for them to eat.
Right.
That's what this is saying.
Absolutely.
If they want to eat it, you can't. With the forbidden to marry, you don't have to marry anybody.
Right.
But you can't forbid to marry.
Right.
Right. It's Christianity twists this thing up so much, and it's kind of funny because once you read the verses that they pulled, just like with what was that dude? You know the one Edomite, that you know, the sassy one that kept coming out here.
Ryan. The Ryan dude. Yeah.
Every time they pull verses, the verse they pulled, when you read it, it cuts them.
Right.
Because you don't know what you're
You don't know what
reading.
you're talking about. Absolutely.
That's why you want to read all these other variations of the Bible and paraphrase everything.
Right.
Because when you read these words, it goes back to you must follow the law, and the laws. And this is in 1 Timothy, so the law must still be around well after the death of Christ, death, burial, resurrection of Christ.
Right.
So, what are we talking about here?
Right.
Follow the law. What? How is this? How is that not blatantly clear? What is the? Unless they just believe that the truth is whatever they think it is. There's only one truth spoken of in this Bible, and that is the law, statutes, commandments of the Most High God. Those who are following the truth are the ones who follow the law, statutes, and commandments of the Most High God. Period.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You know what I mean? And speaking of marrying, give me that scripture where it talks about the married bed is not that's actually on topic. You know what I'm saying? This scripture right here is on topic, and what the brother just said was you can't turn around and force someone to marry, and guess what? Most certainly cannot force them not to marry as well.
Right.
You understand? And our people, now you know us like we know us. When temperatures start rising and your body is yearning, I don't think it's nothing that's gonna stop the two people. You know what I'm saying? from getting it in at that point.
Down to that, sir.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Hey, they Netflix, now they chilling, and they by themselves. You understand? I don't think nothing is going to stop them.
Sir.
And after that, guess what? You shouldn't try to stop them either.
Damn right.
You shouldn't, try to say, hey, no, y'all ain't, you gotta take my daughter to the courthouse. You gotta take her to the church. You gotta call the pastor and set the date and all this. No. You know what I'm saying? They done committed the act of having sex with one another. That's it. That is it. And that's the thing that a lot of people, now we catch a lot of heat and a lot of smoke behind sex being marriage. Like, for the most part, the women, they just don't want to come to grips with all the men in their sex.
Right.
They start thinking, oh my God, I was married to all 100 of these people. You understand?
Yeah.
They start thinking about all, because in their mind, they say, I ain't married, I'm single.
Right.
And they really think single means sleep with whoever you want to.
Right.
I still don't understand that. Like, but even when I was in the world, it was some kind of special attachment. You understand?
Yeah.
And I didn't want to let go. And you know what I'm saying?
Right.
You understand? You feel me? I didn't want to let go. There was something inside of me.
Yeah.
I just did not want to let go of that.
Sir.
And why? Because we was married.
Right.
You understand? We were married, man. And that's what the Bible said. But you know what? A lot of these cats, a lot of them brothers, you know what they want? They want our sisters to continue to be sluts for them.
Right.
That's why they argue against it. They don't want the sister to be, hey, you ain't got no game. You can't back on the sister and get you a woman. You would rather your sister be a whore, you understand, than somebody that is decent and somebody you could take care of and that you could love forever. Like, she might not be your type, I understand. Don't deal with her then. Definitely don't deal with her if she's not your type. But if you find your type, something that you like, don't just want to poke on it and then don't want to be responsible for it. You understand? Because that right there, that's brothers all day long. He want that hole, but he don't want the responsibility that come along with it.
Right.
He is now, you are now his responsibility once y'all have sex. And most men just want to, what they say, smash and pass.
Yeah.
You understand? They want to smash, and then when they're ready to pass you, they like, hey, you know what? You get on my nerve. They find some kind of reason, well, you know what? It ain't you, it's me. I done heard. I done had sisters in the world that found out about our counseling, right? They called me and crying in my ear talking about, he told me it's him, it ain't me. I said, okay, well, if he told you that, why you crying? You understand? He said it was him. Let him take the blame for it then. You didn't do anything wrong. That's what he said. It's him. But they were still crying. This is hurt.
Yeah.
I told this one, I remember, man, it was funny as hell. It was funny, but it wasn't funny. But, because the brother should not have done her like that. You know what I'm saying? You don't turn around and have sex with the sister and then throw her away. And then make up some goofy excuse talking about, it's me and not you. You're right, it is you. You are effed up. You understand? But he don't know. He don't know that he's supposed. The thing was, he found him somebody else that looked a little better. I guess everything else is a little better to him. You understand? Yeah. And he was more drunk. And see, that's Christianity too. That's Christianity. Yeah, if you want you another woman, you gotta leave the one that you got alone in order to be with her. Like, at this point, you done slept with her, you gotta keep both of them.
Right. You
gotta keep the old one, and you gotta keep the new one now. Forever. Not until you find somebody that look better. That's probably what it was. Right. You understand? Old girl had a couple babies, gained a couple pounds. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Here comes something new, something slim, something thick, something rich, chocolate. You understand me? Or caramel, whatever flavor you like. Butter pecan. All our sisters, all the flavors. You understand? And then he turned around and dissed her, dropped her, and said, you know what? This new one, this is one. I just.
Right.
It's not you, it's me. It's me. Stupid shit. That is weak. You know?
No, it doesn't.
When tell her, no, it's me, baby. I want you and her. That sounds better.
Right.
Don't destroy the woman because you want somebody else and leave her alone. Most women, guess what? They down for a multiple wife. They down for a man having another woman. Most women really and truly don't care until they start talking to their friends and their mamas and their aunties. And once they family find out you got other women, and once they keep throwing it up in their face every time they see them, then it's, girl, I can't believe you dealing with him. Oh, he got all them other women. Stop talking to people like that. They ain't even got to know your business. When they find out, shut the conversation down. You ain't got to talk to them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You don't even have to hear no idiot that has something to say. They sleeping with everybody. But then here you go, got a man, you got a couple of women, and then they got something to say about your situation. You don't even have to disclose what you're doing with your man with nobody. You know, come on with it.
It's a lot. 99% of the time, it's the women who can't get a man to stay with her to save her life.
God,
That's why she mad because her man left her for another woman, and your man want to keep you and still get the other woman.
Yeah. Yeah, they mad.
She's mad
Huh?
because your man just didn't want to leave you. Now she want to talk down on you while she go home and cry herself to sleep in her pillow by herself all night every day.
Right.
She, misery loves company, and while she miserable, she wants to make sure that you stay in that same company with her.
Yeah, absolutely. That's it right there. You know what I'm saying? It used to. I remember when I was young, and I usually use when I was young, when I was hearing and seeing these different things going on, because I didn't understand it then.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I didn't understand how I would sit and hear sisters that, like you said, couldn't keep them. Man, I seen you with one a couple months ago. Now you with another one, and then last year you was with another one, different one. You know what I'm saying? And then the year before that you was with a couple of ones, and I'm hearing them give advice to someone on how to keep a man and what they should do with their man.
Right.
And I'm like why would? And I'm saying to myself, why would they even listen to you? You've been with 10 different men already.
God.
I ain't even 10 years old. And I'm figuring this out.
Damn right.
I'm like, man, what you been with 10 different men and you got something to say and some advice to give to someone else? Nah, I think you should. Oversell Club, I think you should mute your mic.
God.
You know what I'm saying? You should mute your mic. Because I don't know why you're speaking right now.
Right.
Because you actually have nothing to say. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on with that scripture. I'll give it to you. You get what I wanted?
Okay. The book of Hebrews, chapter 13, verse 4.
Yeah, there we go.
Marriage is honorable in all.
Listen, these people that end up back in 1 Timothy 3 and verse 3 where it say forbid to marry. When the Bible says what?
Marriage is honorable in all.
Marriage is honorable in all, man. It's a good thing. If that's what you want to do, if you say that you want to be married, you want you a husband, that's an honorable thing. Nothing wrong with it. You say you are a man, and you say you need you a woman, guess what? It's an honorable thing.
Yeah, I'm right.
Just don't be going around smashing chicks though.
God,
You understand?
God.
Don't be going around sleeping and dating and sleeping with men talking about something until you find the right one.
Right.
How is the right one gonna find you when you're already sleeping with one?
Damn right.
Like, make that make sense. I never understood that. How are you gonna find the right one when you're sleeping with one? He's not good enough. He's good enough to knock your socks off, but he ain't good enough to stay with.
God.
I actually had a sister that stopped me at a grocery store, and this was when shopping sale was still open, right?
God.
Before they closed. And the sister seen me in the beer and everything, and she had some questions. Like, what you represent? You know what I mean? And it started from there. So we started talking about a lot of different topics. We brought up marriage as one of the topics, right?
Yeah.
And this was so crazy. It was a sister sitting on the side, in a van right alongside of our cars. I was parked in front of her. She, said by accident. I didn't even know that this was where her car was parked. She's parked in front of me. I'm parked in front of her, just like this in the parking lot. And we standing by our cars having a conversation, right? There was a sister in a van right next to us that was listening the whole time we having this conversation.
Yeah.
When we got on sex being marriage, that's when the heat turned up.
Oh,
She turned demon then. You know why? Because she had just divorced her man. She had just divorced her man of 28 years, she said. The sister, you know what she said? She said, I was in a marriage too long. That's what she said. I said, God damn. So I said, that wasn't long enough. I said, it's supposed to be forever.
Right.
Forever ain't. I said, and I said, why do, because of course she went to the courthouse. I said, why do y'all even get married by those vows? Y'all don't take them serious. She said, I did take my vows serious. Why you say that? I said, well, let's go over those vows.
Right.
I said, let's go over them and see if you took them serious.
Right.
It says, do you, Shaquita, I always use Shaquita and Tyrone or Dante or something like that. You understand? I always use those names. So I said, do you take Shaquita or Dante to be your lawfully wedded husband through sickness and in health? So if your man gets diabetes, or if he gets cancer, or if he gets, what else can you possibly get? Kidney, that's something else that's rising continuously in the black community. That kidney failure, heart attack, stroke, you understand? Some of that nature, right? Sickness and in health. So whether he's healthy, now we know you love him if he's healthy. You understand? But if he gets sick and you got to take care of him, you understand? Are you still going to be there? And then it says, for richer or for poor, he got a good job.
Right.
One day he get laid off.
Yeah.
And then he ain't got that good job no more. He working at McDonald's, not McDonald's Douglas. He working at McDonald's. He working at Walmart pushing buggies. You understand? Are you still going to be there? So after say for sickness and in health, for rich or for poor,
Right.
for better or for worse. Ooh, this is the one that get them right there. That's the one that get them.
Sir.
Because when things are better, of course y'all together.
Right.
Y'all, you down. You down.
Sir.
You down. But when it get worse, the worst is normally him having another woman. And that you can't take. But your vow says for better or for worse. Till death do you part. And that sister said she was married too long. And I can go on and on with all the stories that I have heard throughout the years, the short 8 years me being in this truth, of all the excuses that black women give to where they say, nope, I couldn't take that. Nope, I had to go. Nope, somebody else will treat me right. I don't deserve this and I don't deserve. All that nonsense, I done heard it all. Come on with it.
And Salakia, you could have started and ended with till death do you part. Because you don't take your vow serious. One of them was till death do you part. It don't matter anything else that happened before that. If you got a divorce, then you didn't take your vow serious because it wasn't until death do you part.
Right.
It was until you didn't feel like it no more do you part.
Yeah, that's
what it ended up being.
That's exactly what it was. And this sister, I'm talking about, she got in a rage, brother.
Okay.
I'm talking about, she got mad. I mean, everybody started looking, somebody's howling and talking loud, thinking we about to fight and all that. She wouldn't get that mad. But she was loud, and you could tell demons was coming out of her. And everything I was saying to her, I'm breaking down the scriptures, letting them know, no, sis, it's woo, woo, woo. I said, what's done is done. I ain't telling you so you can go back. But this is what the Bible said. This is what you said you believe in God. When I start breaking it down, you say, oh yeah, I believe in the Bible, I read the Bible, I did that. Then you was fine then, you thought I was, thought I went to church. You know what I'm saying? Until you find out that I don't go to church. This nigga don't go to church.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So the sister alongside of us, she turned around and let her window down. She said, "Excuse me, y'all." She said, "I don't mean to be in y'all business." She said, "But I've been sitting there listening to this whole conversation." And she said, "Sister, he right." She turned around, you know, that was the Lord.
God.
That was the Lord. She said, "Sister, he right." And man, why did she start bawling in tears and crying? Because I'm sure she started thinking about, damn, I did let my husband down.
God.
And then a part that I left out was the new guy she was with, that she was just having sex with, and didn't want to marry him. She didn't want to marry him. She didn't want to be with him. She just having sex with somebody. She said, "I am a woman. I got needs." And that's what we went off into that too. And the sister said, "No, so he right. You shouldn't be doing that." You know what I'm saying? That is in the Bible. When he did say, I looked it up. While he said it's in the Bible, I looked it up. She said it is in the Bible.
God.
That a woman only supposed to be with one man. You ain't supposed to divorce. You ain't supposed to be sleeping around. All of it. She said it's in the Bible. She said he's right. You understand? And this is one of the scriptures that I read to her. To where it said marriage is honorable in all. The sister turned around and left her marriage just to be a whore.
Right.
You understand? Now she's sleeping with a guy that she don't even want. Like, how can you that vagina is supposed to be the most precious thing that you own.
Yeah.
So why on earth are you just giving it to somebody that you don't even have any intentions on being with?
God.
But he's satisfying your need. So you turn around and he's good enough for that, but he's not good enough to be your husband and rule over you. All because you was in a marriage too long.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And that right there, that sister, when she heard the sister say that, I was like, oh man. That's when she started crying. She said, it's in the Bible, sister. She said, I just looked it up on my phone. And that right there, that was the Lord, brother, in that conversation. You understand? Had that sister right. Neither one of us knew she was there. I wasn't paying attention to who was in another car. You know,
Right.
We having a conversation. You know? And to her surprise, that sister was paying attention and listening and was like, nope, you wrong, sister. You shouldn't be doing that. You know?
Yeah.
So go ahead, keep reading. So the married bed is, marriage is honorable in all, man. You understand?
And the bed, undefiled.
And that marriage bed, the things that a husband and wife is doing with each other. Guess what? What Missy Elliott say? Get your freak on. You understand? You and him go at it. You understand?
Right.
Do that thing. What did General Hyman say? Give him some.
Yeah,
You understand? Give him some. And give her some too. Captain Tresorian made some oil. He made some his and her oil. Give him some and give her some too. You understand? Hey, give them some. You're married. God damn it. Give them some. Get you some. You understand? Get you some. Marriage is honorable, man. Nothing wrong with being married. That's what you choose to do.
Right.
You know, and the married bed is honorable among. I mean, it's not defiled. You're not defiled. Now the Christians will tell you, and I don't be understanding that. You know, they have wives. They molest children. They are gay. They sleep with other men's wives. They do all manner of evil. But then will tell you that, brother, you shouldn't be having all those women. You know what I'm saying? They talk about us, but look at what you've done. Look at what you're getting accused of, and you're doing it. Preachers are not just being accused because people hate the pastors. People love the pastors.
Right.
They love the pastors so much that they allow them to molest their children and they don't say a word.
Right.
They love the pastors so much. This brother, that the mechanic, remember the one that came and checked out, gave me the quote on the bus?
Yeah.
The mechanic, he asked, man, what y'all about in there? Because it was class. Remember, I don't know, do you remember that night he came? He was so, you know, we dressed for class.
Right.
And he said, what you brothers about, man? What y'all got going on? So when I started breaking it down to him, when I said the Bible, the brother said, oh man, I don't fool with that Bible. You know, I don't fool with no church. I don't deal with none of that. And I asked him, why? I said, why is that, brother? And he turned around and he said, man, I had a thing, you know, my ex-wife. You already know where this is going.
Yep,
His ex-wife turned around and got pregnant with their first baby. He said he tells her once she got so many months, he said, well, look, baby, this is what I want you to do. You take off. I'm going to take care of us, you know what I'm saying, because I want our baby to be healthy. I want you to just focus on having that baby. That's what the brother said. So he said he took care of everything until, you know, till after so long when he told her, okay, baby, now if you're ready to go back to work, you go back to work, let's get it.
Yeah.
Right? So he said she goes to work. Her first check, she drops in her pastor hand. The whole first check. He said, wait a minute, hold the hell up. You gave who your whole what? And you already know what he concluded from that.
Oh,
you understand? The brother found out that his woman was sleeping with this preacher. You understand? Like, why is you giving? Your husband was the one taking care of that house, not your damn preacher.
Right.
Not your pastor. Your husband the one that told you, baby, take off, and that way you can have a smooth pregnancy.
Mm-hmm.
I want you to just focus on nothing but having our baby.
Yeah.
And then when you go back to work, you give the pastor the whole check. He said he flipped out.
Yeah.
And I know he flipped out some more when he found out this man was sleeping with his woman. You understand? Like, ridiculous. It's a sister. Oh, go ahead.
Might have been the past day while he played.
Hey, it could have been.
Because
It could have been.
that's what we in the black community seem to just turn a blind eye to.
Yeah.
And that's most of the reason why most of the other men ain't in the church no more.
Right.
Because the pastor is nasty and they dishonor marriage.
Right.
They are the one. They are the chief hypocrites. Right. This is what they do. Right. And I thought, you know, at first with the story, it was only missing one part that I thought was going to be in there. And that was they went in for counseling first. Like that usually gets thrown in there somewhere where it's counsel get involved and then he find out that she's sleeping with the pastor.
Right.
But other than that, I mean that story has been repeated thousands upon thousands of times all around the country in our community. Like that's not a rare story. Like there was no shock in that. Especially like, and when you tell me, oh, look up that article about that pastor that did that. Be more specific, please.
Right.
Because I got 45 pages on Google of articles with different ones. Which one? Like it keeps happening.
Yeah. And look, I ran into a sister that I went to school with, and she asked, she's like, "You an Israelite?" I said, "Yeah, I used to talk to somebody that was kind of like y'all. I think he was in some religious war or something like that." Yeah. He wasn't an Israelite, but she know about a little bit about, you know, what we do. And we got to talking about the preachers and things like that. And she said she know of one that just did that. Cause I dropped the same thing when I talk about the preacher. Who they sleep with, how nasty they are. And she said, yeah, I know one that her husband, I ain't sending none of my women to no preacher for nothing. She said her husband sent her to the preacher for counsel. And the man ended up sleeping with his wife. Ended up sleeping with you ain't got nothing to talk with no preacher about. Now, nigga, for that, you know what I'm saying? You need some counsel, you better come to me. You know what I'm saying? You ain't going to no preacher. And here's the blessing part. I thank God that the captains and the generals over me, or should I say the generals and the captains over me, you understand? My women can go to them. They can go to them and get counsel. Because I know they ain't going to try to stick their rod in. They actually believe what I believe. You understand? My brothers have been, and I'm saying my brothers, I'm talking about the brothers in UPK. They've been around all my real, but guess what? I ain't had a funny feeling. I ain't had no weird thought. Like, man, hold up. Hey, why is Officer so-and-so talking to my real that long? You know what I'm saying? I ain't not once felt uncomfortable. They ain't felt uncomfortable. They ain't say, oh, damn. Now, when they was, you know, first getting used to being around the brothers, you know our sisters, they just like that. They did. Who's all these brothers in here, you know? I feel safe, but you know what I'm saying?
Nah.
They had to get over it. It was something new. You understand? Come on.
And Salaki, they used to the world too.
God.
You know, when they first get in here, they used to the world. They used to everything that's out there. They
Right.
like this is a foreign thing to our people to be just
Absolutely.
safe around your own people. To be your woman is safe around your brothers.
Yeah.
Your brothers ain't trying to get your woman.
Right.
Look, your brothers don't want your woman.
Right. That's your one.
They got 5 of their own. They ain't worried about you and yours.
Exactly.
They love their brother and they watch out for their brother and their sister and that's it.
Damn right.
Other than that, you their sister.
Damn right.
But they used to every man that sees them
Yeah.
trying them.
Yeah. Yeah. Every man wants to stick that thing in that hole.
Kind of nice.
You understand? Out there in that world. You know what I'm saying? And this ain't no David and Uriah thing in here either.
Right.
You understand? That ain't going down in the UPK either.
Yeah, right.
Okay? So, you know, in the beginning, it was a little leery. But now, hey, we all learn to love each other.
Yeah,
I love my brothers, I love my sisters. We all love each other in here. You know? And we ain't out to get just every damn woman just because you can have more than one. You know, we ain't thirsty in here. You can get you one.
Right.
You want you a woman, get you one. It's okay. You understand? You want a husband. Guess what? Get you one. It's okay.
Right.
It's okay. We know y'all be thirsty.
Yeah.
Just messing with the sister. But give me the rest of that scripture.
Sounds good, sir.
So marriage is honorable among all, and the bed not defiled, meaning whatever thing that the husband and wife is doing, as long as it don't involve no homosexuality or no adding of 2 or 3 and 4 people, ain't nobody got nothing to say to you. Do y'all
Right.
thing. It's not defiled. You're not doing anything wrong. You're supposed to enjoy each other. You understand? What did Solomon say about them breasts? The breasts of her to enjoy her breasts all thy life. I'm paraphrasing. You know?
Yeah.
Them things, hey, them Solomon melons supposed to look good to you.
Damn right.
Enjoy it. And guess what, sister? Perk them up for your brother. You understand? Perk them up and have poke him right in his eyes so he want to touch him. Hey, let me not go there. You
Yeah, right. But
But they be like, yeah, they got a sex education class in St. Louis. Goddamn. Yeah. Come on with
it's a
it.
lucky. If you ain't learning it from the priest, you might need to go check yourself. That's the problem. Because I'm sorry if that is questionable. They have not. Again, Christians have not read the Bible because you do not know what's in there.
No,
When Solomon talking about his northern wind blowing in her southern valley,
Oh, yeah.
like that is scripture.
Oh yeah.
Okay? That is in the word of God. It says that.
Right. And in today's time, that song would be, "You can go downtown and still away to my love."
I say like that. Like this is.
Ain't that what the song said?
But it's Salakia, sir. But Christianity has made sex something dirty.
They have. God.
What it actually is the love of our oppressors' culture, right? One of their greatest thinkers and greatest minds, the people who they base their entire society off of, said that having sex with a woman was simply for reproduction. But the greatest love a man can find is between the cheeks of a young boy. Homosexual sex is fine for them.
Yeah.
Having sex between a man and a woman, why do you think they say, oh, Christ couldn't have been born from a man and a woman having sex?
Right.
He would have been defiled from that dirty act.
Right.
What?
Right.
That's perfect. The Most High God said, be fruitful and multiply.
Right.
Why would he tell you to do something disgusting and dirty?
Right.
He told you to do something glorious that he gave
Right.
to you.
Right.
Like Christianity has turned it into an entirely different thing, so that's why you can't even talk about it anymore.
Right.
Why? Because you have made it disgusting.
Yeah.
It must be. Everything must be done in its proper context.
Yeah.
Or when I talk about talk to your 3-year-olds about it, nothing like that, because
Right.
it's not their time and they don't know anything enough
Right,
yet about
right,
life.
right. Yeah, right.
But as far as for adults and older teens, of course, it's natural. It's what every creature on the planet does.
God, and you monitor your children. Once you see that they take that interest in little boys or little girls, then now you might want to start talking to them.
Kind of the concept.
But that's for a father, you understand, to be wise enough in these scriptures and know his children.
Right.
And monitor them and say, hey, wait, you watching them come home from the bus stop.
Kind of.
And you watching how the little boy talking to her, she just giggling and laughing. Oh, that's how the camera. You 14. Wait, what was y'all talking about? I see how you was acting. All that talking. I know them jokes wasn't that damn funny. You know
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Come on. Now, it's time for daddy to kick in now.
Kind of the
You know,
concept.
like you said, we ain't just talking to them little kids, little baby, 3-year-olds, 5-year-olds,
Right.
talking about no damn sexist marriage. You know what I mean? But that's what you gotta know. You gotta have wisdom.
Right.
You know what I mean? And you gotta know them sons too. You understand?
Nah,
Because
okay.
guess what? They time gonna come as well.
Kind of
They're gonna turn around and start, guess what? Liking girls. And when you find out they do, when you see him flexing his little muscle, you know what I'm saying? When he
Kind of
walking
guy.
home with one of them from the bus stop, now it's time for you to pull him. Son, what the hell is you doing trying to take your shirt off in front of that little girl?
Kind of that.
Showing her all your abs. You
Yeah,
know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
sir.
Now it's time for you to talk to him, you know? But you gotta have this wisdom right here,
Yeah.
man. You gotta, you know, we gotta actually teach our children, lead them and guide them properly. Not just let them grow up and do. That's why they're just doing any and everything now.
Kind of guy, sir.
Because they're not being taught. Go ahead.
I was saying the next part of the verse is exactly why you have to teach them that.
Come on with it.
Kind of guy. But whoremongers and adulterers,
Mhm.
God will judge.
God will judge the whores, the whoremongers, the adulteresses. You're going to get AIDS and STDs.
Okay.
You understand? You're going to be itching and scratching. And I ain't just talking about from your pH balance being off, because that happens sometimes.
Yeah.
You understand? A woman's pH balance could be off and it can cause a little irritation down there. She could turn around and bacteria can build up, and then she could turn around and have a yeast infection. Too much good bacteria, bad bacteria. Too much good can be bad, and all that. Too much bad can be bad. It's the black woman. Her body is complicated. You understand?
Kind of guy.
Like I be sitting there, my ribs got all kind of stuff. You understand? And they won't. I'm like, you use this, you use that. I gotta keep it clean. You understand? I ain't mad.
Okay.
But they got 20 different things
Oh,
that they use to make sure that they are all right in that area. And guess what? I ain't mad. I don't discourage it. I don't even bother. I don't even
Right.
get away with it. You understand? Because hey, you must keep it clean, please.
Yeah, kind of guy.
You understand? Do that for me. So I ain't mad. You understand?
Right.
I don't bother me. All I need is some body wash. I'm fine. You understand? Some body wash and some degree.
God.
Okay?
Hey,
And
kind of
I'm
guy.
good. Some cool rush. You know what I'm saying? I'm fine. But them, yeah, they got special soap. You know, like my little princess. You know, she turned around and tried to use some adults. And I think I fallen for it. You know what I'm saying? I think I got her some scented stuff, and she just wasn't ready for that, and she got irritated. You know? And so we had to take it down to the Dove or something like that.
Yeah,
ST.LOUIS,
yeah.
some Dove. What's the other one? Is it Dawn? Not dishwasher. Not Dawn. Dove and something else. It's one that no scent that'll get her fresh and clean, but it won't harm us. You know what I'm saying?
That's all you know.
Yeah.
That's all that you miles do.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I thought it was another name.
It is. I just can't think
I
of it
think
right now.
is correct.
That's
I
all
think
right.
that's it. Yeah, I think that might be it too. So it was a Caress brand and a Dove brand, you know. And at an early age, this happened when she was about 8, I think. You know what I'm saying? Daddy went and bought her. I just got a message saying your baby needs some body wash. You know what I'm saying? And I just went ahead and got her some, and it irritated her precious little skin, and she could no longer use that. You know what I'm saying? She had to use what you know, according to her skin being sensitive, you know. So she wasn't quite ready for the sentence.
Right.
Sometimes women, I know some women that's old as hell, and guess what? They skin still sensitive,
Okay.
and they still can't use that sensitive the sentence stuff. Come on.
Like, the women, yeah, you know, the face wash, the different shampoo, the JJ wash, the body wash, the foot scrub, and then you got to get your extra exfoliants.
Now they got them little gloves.
Okay, I got the
Oh,
exfoliant.
man, come on.
Like, they got different stuff for every little thing.
And guess what? I ain't mad at it.
How does that
I love it. I love it about our sisters that they take pride in keeping their bodies clean. You know what I'm saying? Nothing wrong with that. You know what I'm saying? But whores and whoremongers and adulteresses, guess what? You're going to get judged.
Right.
You understand? You're going to get punished by the Lord because it's in the law. You understand? No man is supposed to be a whoremonger. As a matter of fact, you ain't gonna get in the kingdom. Give me that Revelation. Was that 21? Or 22? We're talking about who ain't getting in the kingdom.
Okay. Book of Revelations, chapter 21, verse 8. Start at verse 7.
Come on.
Verse 7. He that overcometh shall inherit all things, and I will be his God, and he shall be my son. Verse 8. But the fearful and unbelieving, and the abominable, and murderers, and whoremongers,
And who?
and whoremongers,
Keep going.
and sorcerers, and idolaters, and all liars shall have their place in the lake which burneth with fire and brimstone, which is the second death.
Good night. So you cannot turn around and take our women and treat them like whores. That's what a whoremonger is. A whoremonger is a man that will just sleep with the woman, and for whatever the reason, he just throw her away and then go about his business and find him somebody else. You understand? Give me that in the law, the woman, daughter of Zion should be a whore. Give me that. So that's the problem with a lot of our brothers. You understand? Is they don't know that once you have sex with that woman, she's your wife. You understand? And I ain't talking about the stripper on the pole. She with everybody. But they say she for the streets.
Okay.
You understand? I ain't talking about the one that's on the stroll. You understand? You're now sleeping with whores.
Right.
That's a prostitute. You understand? And you're being a whoremonger then as well.
Okay.
Because you're sleeping with a whore, a woman that is going to let you slut her out and then never gonna see you again until the next time you get turned off. You know what I'm saying? And then you're gonna pull up on her and ask her to get into your car. Okay? So you're still being a whoremonger in that case as well.
Right.
Okay? So it's not just the woman that you met on Facebook or OnlyFans or whatever. What else they got? Well, what's the old one? MySpace.
Yeah.
Oh my
Black.
God.
Black.
Planet? That was one of them?
Kai.
I ain't see that one, but
Yeah, back in the day, sir.
oh, you talking about the dating?
Oh, yeah, they
This
used
is
to
the
connect
dating
to
app.
the
Yeah,
camera.
okay. But the MySpace, oh my God, when I heard all of the ads they was selling on there, I was like, damn. And they tried to turn Facebook into that. Because every story that I look and see of some sort is ass and titties all in the. I just saw one that somebody posted and said, "What size bra do she wear?" And the bra is buckled up in her car seat. I mean, not car seat, in her driver's seat. She buckled up in the seat of her car, and got these big old watermelons. And whoever posted it talking about what size bra do she wear. I'm like, God dang, you driving around like that?
Yeah.
You driving around like no bra on. I ain't talking about bra. The belt was covering them. You know how they cover them anyway. You know what I'm saying? But she had them fixed to where the belt, when she buckled the belt in, it was covering the nipple. We couldn't see it. And they told me, what? This is what I'm seeing. And that reminded me of what I was hearing on MySpace. I wasn't never on there. You know what I'm saying? I did. I think I opened an account, but I wasn't. You know, I was busy doing other things. Huh?
Like, that was like my middle school, high school. I was on that one.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. But I opened an account, but I never got on it. I don't even. Nope, I never did. But I heard of all the ass, and now Facebook is turning into MySpace. You know what I'm saying? And that's all they doing on it. They got OnlyFans. You know, to where you can have a private group, and where you, I guess, do whatever the hell you want to do in the group with your fans. You know, like you remember that story about with that white girl, that OnlyFans, what they call her, OnlyFans model, and she killed her black boyfriend. You remember that? Oh man, she turned around. They was in the elevator, or she turned around, and she was. They said she was an OnlyFans model, and they got in the elevator. He was getting in the elevator. Looked like he was leaving. Looked like she was like trying to stop him or something. But she was going crazy. You know, white women are psychotic anyway.
Okay.
And she turned around and started hitting him, and he trying to, you know, push off and blocking the punches and scratching and all of this stuff here. And then they go back into, I guess he probably didn't want to take it outside. And then he goes back into the apartment. She stabbed him and claimed she did it in self-defense. But she just didn't know that they had her on camera in the elevator. You know what I'm saying? The elevator showed the whole thing. So now she's being charged with his murder.
Yeah.
You understand? But this is the OnlyFans model. This is a whore that this brother was with. You understand? And look at what she did. She killed you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
This whore murdered. You trying to be with this whore. You can't be with no whores, man. It's against the law. You understand? You cannot sleep with them. You can't talk to them. You can't date them. You can't have dinner with. Don't do nothing with no hoe. Let her go.
Yeah.
Hoe. Just have to do with that. You know what I'm saying? And now we done lost a brother because of, you know, of him. Number one, not knowing that we're not supposed to marry outside of our people,
Right.
outside of our nation, and then not knowing that junk them rappers be talking about, they don't really be happy with them hoes. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
They is not living their best life with no whores. When they marrying strippers and all this nonsense, they are not. You can look at some of them face, and when they in public with them, and they got half of their body hanging out, and how they just is not with it. Brothers really is not with that. I looked at what's Gucci Man, and his she's Chulo. What is his name?
It's like, I think he is Asian or something.
What's she? Ain't she a model though? Kind of,
Yeah,
kind of whole model, whatever it is. You could tell when he was with her in some certain pictures, she had all that body hanging out, that he was not comfortable.
Oh, wow.
You could tell he was not comfortable, man. Most brothers just do not like that. We don't want everybody to see what you're working with. But who she is, he has to play along with.
Yeah.
And he got to act like he's really so happy with that when I know he's not. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I feel bad for my brothers when I see what they doing. One time, like, I can't even see how brothers let their woman come out the house like this. I was in Schlutz one day, right? And this brother and his woman and they 3 kids come in behind, right? I stopped, you understand? They ended up going on, I'm getting what I'm getting in the aisle. So now they in front of me, right? So as I'm going down the aisle, continuing going where I'm going, I look up and all I could see was her shorts was just that small. I can see it hanging out of shorts. I said, God damn, like I know you saw her at home before y'all left the house. And you let her come out the house like that?
Like,
I was like, go ahead.
You talking about Young Jeezy. Not Gucci Mane. Gucci Mane is married to a
No,
Benjamite.
he married to, huh?
Gucci Mane married to a Benjamite. It's Young Jeezy that's married to the Asian.
But she's some kind of model or something.
Got it.
Yeah,
Okay.
it was Gucci Mane. You're
Okay.
right. Yeah, Jeezy married to a Ching Chong.
Okay.
You right.
Okay.
And he, oh my God, he looks so weak trying to talk to their family and get down with their culture and understand them. He looks stupid as hell.
So like,
Come on with it.
it's like Compton's I said, nigga, you the concubine.
Right.
Because it's your people that was defeated.
Right.
That her
Right.
people are ruling over.
Mm-hmm.
And she took you as a spoil of war.
Mm-hmm.
You the concubine.
Damn right. Absolutely. He is the concubine.
God,
in that case.
sir.
And be looking dumb. I done seen some videos where he over there trying to talk to them and eat their food and all that. Oh my God. Culture is totally different. You know? That Chinese food that they serve, they made that for niggas.
Oh God, yeah.
Crab
God.
rangoon, what's the pot stickers, egg rolls, ham fried rice, pork fried rice, shrimp fried rice, beef fried rice, chicken fried rice, plain fried. They made that for niggas. Pork St. Paul, shrimp St. Paul. They made that for niggas. They don't even eat that.
God.
They don't even eat that, man. You understand? Like General Tso's chicken, they don't eat that. We do. They made that for us.
Right.
You understand? White man made an agreement with them to let them come over here and make and put as many restaurants as they want in the black neighborhood. Now they got the hibachi grills in their community, to where they can see you throw the rice and the chicken in the air, set it on fire. You know what I'm saying? Before it hit the fire. You know what I'm saying? Hit the stove. They turn around and do all kinds of tricks, and blow fire in your face, and throw out flames, do all that fancy stuff. They like that.
Right.
But they ain't got Dr. King, Chop Suey in their neighborhood.
I'll say.
You understand? They ain't got Harold's. You understand? Chop Suey over here. They ain't got them in their neighborhood. Okay? They only got hibachi grills to where they can see something fascinating.
Mm-hmm.
They see a show being put on in front of them. But they made that food for us.
Right.
You know what I mean? And now they got more Chinese restaurants in America than they do American restaurants. You know, and I wonder why. You understand? Come on with it. What else we got? You get the law on it?
God, sir.
Come on
The
with
book
it.
of Deuteronomy, chapter 23, verse 17.
Mm-hmm.
There shall be no whore of the daughters of Israel.
No sister, no black, Hispanic, Native Indian woman is supposed to be a whore. The Lord, here's a commandment that you not be. So while you listening to Meg Thee Stallion glorifying being a slut, and then you grab onto that as if you're grabbing onto something, and as if you're doing something great with your life.
God.
Meg Thee Stallion is getting paid to be a hoe.
Right.
It still ain't worth the money then. Don't get me wrong for saying that. You understand? It's still not worth it. It's not, because once they get through using that hoe up, they're going to be on to the next one. Look at how they do all of our sisters. Look how they did Little Kim. She came out, was everybody's slut, and the world loved her for that too, didn't it? But then, once that hoe got used up, okay, time for the next hoe. Then, Nicki Minaj. You understand? What she say? I got a bad bitch. He's with his friends. You understand? Keys to the Benz, keys to the Benz. That's what she's saying. Guess what? Now that hoe used up, they done ran through her. I said the money ain't worth it. It's really not. It's not worth your reputation. I mean, you have a reputation of being a slut. That's what she built her. That's how she built her reputation.
Right.
Being a whore. Talking about sleeping with other women. Talking about sleeping with a man and leaving him alone. You know, all these things that Meg Thee Stallion thought shit. You understand? What she say? Hands on my knees and something about some thought shit. And the video is even more disgusting. Got a white man. You slutting yourself out for white men and their money. That's what that represents. Got him sitting there like he playing with himself on the video. And who the hell? Like, come on. And this is what you got our kids looking up to. The mother looks up to this nonsense. Then the kids, the baby girls, is gonna look up to that nonsense. And what choice are they gonna have other than to slut themselves out?
Right.
They're gonna do what they see and hear their mother claiming to do. They're already seeing different men run in and out the goddamn house. Then they hear the song talking about, you know what I'm saying, I don't cook and I don't clean, but let me show you how I got this ring. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like you don't do nothing but have sex. For what you want? That's how you got that ring?
Yep.
And touch that dangling thing in the back of your throat, like that's what you know what I'm saying? That's what they selling. That's what they selling, huh? When I heard it, I'm like, God, but no, hold up, no, don't get me wrong, now we enjoy doing these things, but it shouldn't be put out there.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? If you do want your man to touch that dangly thing in the back of your throat, that should be private. That should be on you and him. We read the scripture, the married bed is undefiled.
Right.
So if he wants to touch that dangly thing in the back of your throat, go have at it. It's none of our business. I don't care what two lawful individuals are doing in their I ain't not once thought. I wonder how Captain Zari out here now. You know what I'm saying? I ain't never thought that. I want this officer, you know, Bond. I wonder if he beat that thing. He go, I don't give a damn. You understand? I don't care. I know that the brother ain't gay. I know Cabal ain't no sissy. You understand? I know the brother wouldn't do threesomes and foursomes and fivesomes and all that. You can't. It's unlawful. You understand? So I'm not thinking about what he's doing with those are his women.
Right.
You understand? And like you said, because of Christianity, you know, we got our sisters out here believing that that's the way to be. Is to be a slut in order to get rich or get paid or get something that you want or get you a man. You know what I mean? Being a slut not gonna get you no man. It's gonna get you AIDS or STD.
Right.
That's what it's gonna get you. You see what all the men is getting, thinking it's okay being gay. They get monkeypox. And some sisters got it too. Oh, go ahead. Come on with it. Come on with it.
Nor a sodomite of the sons of Israel.
Nor a sodomite of the sons. Nor being a homosexual. That's what a sodomite is in the Bible. The white man has confused a lot of things by changing the definitions. Right? He turned around and says sodomy is either oral or anal sex. That's what he put in his definition, but that's not true. In the Bible, sodomy or sodomite is homosexuality. That's right. A man with another man. Right? And I don't have to worry about that. If I had thought one of my brothers was a homosexual, matter of fact, homosexuals don't even come in here. So we can just kill that. Homosexuals don't ask for no flyers. They don't stop and try to hear what we saying at camp. They go right on past us. You understand? Because they know we ain't with that funny business. Come on, you had to help.
But, you know, these are the two things that are pushed in the Christian church, the heaviest, right?
Mm-hmm.
Allowing these two things. And the main reason, again, that they changed the definition of what sodomite means is because they love homosexuals.
Right.
That's why they said, that's why now they're like, oh, there's no mention of homosexuals in the Bible.
Right.
They call them sodomy. Well, that's that's just talking about this type of sex. That's not what it's talking about. Right? Like Cap was saying, this is about being a homosexual, right? And our oppressor loves homosexuality. They love being sodomites. And they love whores, right? And to get us, the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, to continue in their footsteps, to follow after what they love, they understand that what that does is that makes us a second-class citizen to them. Not even a second class. It just makes us beneath them, right? Because we're not even close to second class, right? What is going on is the continual dumbing down and diminishing of the so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native American community and family and household. And because if we allow these things into our community, right, it destroys us. For everybody else, they can get away with it, right? An Edomite can get away with being a homosexual, right? An Elamite can get away with being a whore, right? But when the so-called Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans try to attach and latch on to these things that our oppressor has been doing, you know, it destroys us as a people. And we need to learn how to get back to our God. We have to learn to get back to the law, statutes, and commandments that He gave us, because all of these things, even though they get away with it, it destroys us.
Right.
And people outside of the UPK think that, you know, we hate the other nations. And it's not necessarily that we hate the other nations. Yes, we hate what they did. But in all honesty, we don't care about the other nations at all.
Right.
I don't care what an Edomite is doing. I don't care what a Moabite is doing. All I care about is the so-called Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans and fixing us. Because we spent too long worried about what everybody else is doing. Worried about what's going on in our house and fix our house before we even think about dealing with anybody else.
Damn right. That damn right. Give me Leviticus 19 and 29. We're gonna roll.
This one, the book of Leviticus, chapter 19, verse 29. Do not prostitute thy daughter.
You what?
Do not prostitute thy daughter.
Do not prostitute thy daughter. Guess what? Don't prostitute nobody else's daughter either.
Right.
You understand? Don't turn around and only want to say, okay, no, my daughter ain't gonna be no prostitute. But hey, you know, I saw something down the street.
Yeah.
She wanted at 40. I'm finna go holler at that.
Yeah.
Nah, don't do that. You understand? Because that's unlawful as well.
Damn right.
Even if it's not your daughter, your sister, or your brother's daughter should mean something to you as well.
Right.
You know, I can't wait until us as a nation will turn around and look at each other and say, you know what, I'm going to treat you like I'm going to treat myself. But we do that in the ISUPK.
Damn right.
You understand? I wouldn't want nobody doing that to my daughter, and guess what? I wouldn't do it to my brothers in her or outside of her. You understand? I look after they children like they mine.
Right.
You understand?
Yeah, right.
I see the kids in the event. Oh, man.
God. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I see them, and all I can think of is like, dang, this is a beautiful sight.
God.
All the little baby ass kids running around.
God.
You see they put me over there with the bounce house for a minute. You see
Yeah,
that?
man.
At the Passover. Good night out.
Yeah, man.
All I saw the beautiful little baby flipping and jumping and bouncing and running. Man, I love them all.
Right.
You understand? And I could never hurt them in no kind.
Yeah, right.
You understand? Because I wouldn't hurt my own children. And I look at them as if they mine, even though they ain't biological. You understand? We're still brothers and sisters.
Right.
You know? So guess what? We do that in ISUPK.
Yeah, right.
We look out for each other. We're not turning around and, oh, well, that ain't my daughter.
Yeah.
It ain't my family.
Okay.
It ain't my real. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then it's okay for you to mistreat somebody else. Said, not prostitute thy daughter. Keep on.
Okay. To cause her to be a whore.
You're not supposed to make whores out of our sisters, man. That's all.
Right.
I don't care if she is willing to be a whore. You know what? You should have enough sense as a man to say, nah, you know, I'm good. And you know what would happen? If more men did that, if they would stop and say, you know what, nah, maybe I can't do that to you. Okay, how much? $40. I got 1,000 times 40. I don't care about that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I still ain't finna do that to you. I don't care how much money it is, a little bit you ask for or a lot. I would not do, oh my God, for drugs? You know what they out here doing for drugs, huh?
Yeah.
Do you know what our sisters are doing for bags of weed? Not even the bag, just a blunt.
Okay.
Just a blunt. Do you know what they are doing for a blunt? You know all the things I have heard about sisters in the hood for a bag of weed? You know what I have heard about sisters in the hood for a McDonald's meal?
Right.
Oh my God, sister, matter of fact, the one, remember I pointed out at the camp? He was down there, and she come from under the bridge with the other brothers, and was pregnant. Man, I heard all the stories about this sister, what she'll do for some McDonald's. Straight up. And I'm like, damn, that's crazy. That's crazy both ways, for her to do it and for you to do it too.
Right.
You understand? Take advantage of a sister for a McDonald's meal. And you willing to give yourself away for a McDonald's meal. Like, that's ridiculous. Come on with it.
And Salaki, but they hide it behind, you know, women's empowerment and allowing women to make a choice. What you not understanding is this is teaching us how to value ourselves. You give your body away like it's nothing, and then hold a piece of paper and a loop of metal like it's one of the strongest things in the world. But that body that the Most High God gave you is nothing to you. Like this, that is one of the main things our oppressor did and had to do to get us to be in the situation we're in. We had to not value ourselves as what the Most High God created us to be. And that is above every other people on the face of this earth. This is why it goes over again. You know, your body is the temple of the Most High God. Like, you created special. You are this, you are that. And our oppressor has beaten that out of us to now where what we think that being empowered and being a strong woman is being able to sleep with whoever you want to on whatever night. You can sleep with 3, 5, 6, 7, 8 dudes in one night, and that's empowered to you. You don't see how you're treating yourself as trash.
Right.
Like in this world, everything that is right is told to us as wrong, and everything that they tell us that is right is the most wrong thing ever.
Damn right. Damn right. That's ridiculous. Finish that up real quick. Get out of here.
Lest the land fall to whoredom, and the land become full of wickedness.
Man, it's become full of wickedness. You understand? Like, everybody's sleeping with everybody. That's why there's so much AIDS and STDs running around here in the city of St. Louis. You know, St. Louis made the STD capital for how many years in a row? We're going on about 4, 5 years in a row, something like that. I can't remember, but yes, they. Oh my God! Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I remember at one point they was just talking about the zip codes on the south side and how 6311 was it 6? I think it was 6, 6311, 6118. Well, I can't remember what it was now. You understand which ones they were now, but now it's the whole damn city of St. Louis. Like, it was started off with like 2 zip codes that had the most AIDS and STD, and now the whole city of St. Louis made the STD capital, the same way we made the murder capital for years upon years. You know, it's ridiculous. You know, and I actually hate it. You know, and that's what the Lord is saying. He said that this would happen, and because of your preachers failing to teach our people properly, man, and to teach them the truth. Hell, the pastor was making whores out of everybody in the goddamn church. For the money, and guess what? For his little nasty needs of his too.
Right.
Making whores out your kids, making whores out your women. Yeah, making whores out the men too. You understand? He's sleeping with them too. That quote that you said white people love, pastor love that too. He loved what's in between their boys' butt cheeks. Look at Eddie Long. Look at Eddie Long, man. Notorious damn preacher was a homosexual and molesting children. That's what you get in the Christian church. This is why you need to get out of it and get into the truth, man.
Damn right.
You understand? This is the only place you're going to get taught properly on how to serve the Lord, how to actually treat one another. That's something. That right there, money can't buy that.
How it does, sir.
To where we learn how to treat one another. To where I see a brother walk across, down the street, and he step on my shoe, and I ain't trying to pull out my gun and kill him. Because
Right.
his shoes in the club. You know what I'm saying? You spill a drink on me because you dancing, right?
Yeah.
I ain't gotta kill you because you bad nigga. Oh, I gotta move. You know what I'm saying? I gotta move away from this nigga. He over twerking. I gotta move. Okay?
No,
The nigga already spilled some of my drink. You know what I'm saying? I got to move. Not try to kill the brother, man. That's what he doing. He dancing, whatever he doing over there. I just gotta move. Simple as that. Not turn around and want to kill him for bumping into you. We got a big chip on our shoulder, but it's with the wrong people. It's with the wrong people, man.
Right.
It needs to be, that chip needs to be on your shoulder for your oppressor, not for your brothers and sisters. And I ain't saying that if you bump into the white man, then kill them too. I'm not saying that. But that chip that you got on your shoulder, you should have that chip for the other nations of people.
Right.
Because they are the ones that hate us. We are supposed to love each other.
Yeah, right.
You understand? And we should definitely love each other to the point to where we do not whore each other out. To where our sisters sluts, and we don't see no worth in being with nobody. You know what I mean? The man, they say the man, he's just a man whore. You just sleeping with chicks and leaving them alone. And then you turn around and you're adding to the numbers here in the the A's and STD capital. That's what you're doing. By being a whore or whoremonger, you think that you ain't gonna get it. You don't believe you gonna be next. You don't see yourself sitting in that clinic getting them shots. But that will be you if you continue being a whore and a whoremonger. You will get judged.
Right.
And with that, Shalom Israel,